3, 2, 1. Okay, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, September the 25th. We're on our last day of the J88 North American 2022 weather briefing in Lake Michigan. And with me today, we have a full panel. We have Carrie Klingler, Andrew Waters, and Todd Bash, myself with SailFlow. A couple of housekeeping rules again. As each day during the race, we start at 7:30 and then we field questions in the text box. So please, if you have any questions about the forecast today, please put it in the text box and we can address those live here at the very end of our segment. Otherwise, leave them on the social media and Libby Tomlinson will get back to me on those. Even post-race, if you have feedback for me or the rest of the panel, please do put that in the social media outlets. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on how we performed and what we did this year. Again, SailFlow is the official app for quantum sales for this race. And you can always download it for free, give the free 2-week trial version if you've never tried it before. That gives you the pro access. That gives you full access to all of our stations and the pro forecast that our human elements do every single morning and evening. We do have plenty of sensors in the area. Good thing about Lake Michigan is it's data rich with buoys and also coastal sensors, and many of our own are in the area. So please check those out. Race area again, right off the breakwater. And we're going to be talking about some of the wind speeds today. I know that's going to be one of the big factors. And so looking at the surface map, we have just a kind of a weak low that's peeling off to our northeast. So this is an occluding front with low pressure associated with it. Let me get my draw tool over here. Always have to drag it from another screen. Okay, so we have this upper low that's going to be drifting off to the northeast. It has a front associated with it. It pulled through a little while ago. We did have some showers overnight. And then what we end up with is we have this ridge building out here to the west that's going to draw up some drier air aloft over our area. So we're going to get a break. We may see a few drizzles, maybe a sprinkle or two mixed in, just because we have cool air advecting over the area, which means it's coming down at an angle. And let me get forward in time. And so what we see is the gradient starting to pinch, right? We see these isobars getting tighter together in between this low pressure kind of wraparound and then the high pressure ridge, or the ridge coming down across the area. So the gradients can be rather steep today and steepening as the afternoon goes on. We're talking moderate winds to start and then becoming stronger as we get towards the end of the race around 2, 3 o'clock. Things are going to get really rough out there. We can see a high pressure building in. Now, the WPC does keep showers over the area. However, if looking at the HRRR, looks like some of those showers are starting to taper off now. And then we get a little bit of a slot of dry air that builds in. The HRRR does keep a few isolated showers over the area for a bit, but as we get to late afternoon, these chances pick up. So this little dry area where it's showing these little isolated areas of showers, I think that's just false returns. It may not make it all the way to the surface. But if you do feel a few drops here and there, that's not going to be unexpected. It's going to be cloudy. And then the chances pick up in the afternoon to nighttime where we get more scattered or numerous showers across the area. So let's take a look. What's going to happen is we have this upper level trough, and this is 500 millibars. This is about 18,000 feet. And we can see let me just circle where we are so you can tell where we are on the map. And so what's going on is the upper level winds are at about 40, 45 knots right now, and they're going to increase to 50. And then what happens is we see this surge coming down. We have a couple of surges coming down by about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We get what's called a jet streak. We get this surge of energy, which is going to push over the area. Now, this is going to be fixed in place for a couple of days. It's actually going to have some effects on Hurricane Ian as it comes north. It's going to be pulling that up into the coastline. But either way, what this means for us is that the jet streak increases. And so those winds that are aloft, we have cooler air, right? Cool, dense air wants to sink. And that just does an injection across our area. It's called low-level jetting associated with upper-level jetting. And when the column gets too wide, some of that makes it to the surface. And what that means for us is the winds get stronger throughout the afternoon. So if we take a look at and let me pull that off the map here. Pink, and here we are on the map. And so you can kind of see what's going on with the shower activity. And then we have a dry air slot moving in. And then we have more shower activity coming in from the north and west. So that's kind of the synopsis for what's going on from upper level to low level winds. Now we get down to the surface and see what's actually occurring. We're calling about 15 to 19 knots right now, maybe 20 knots at the Harrison Dever Crib buoy. I think, as I've been saying, this one seems to read a little bit high. I'm not exactly sure why that does that, but I have put a note out to the Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab to find out how they've calibrated their instrumentation. So I'll find out a little bit more about that in time. But for right now, we're calling 15 to 19 knots at the start. You're closer to the start, about 10 o'clock when you get on the course to start your practice runs. 11 o'clock, we're looking at 16 to 20. And then as we get, and we're going to be talking about a 310 to 320 degree range of wind. So that's going to be the start at 11 o'clock, guys. And I'm thinking 16 to 20 from about the 320 range, and then maybe 315, 320. And as we get towards 12 o'clock, we start to go up 17 to 21 knots. We may hold that 16 to 20, but we're going to be gusting mid 20s here. And so we're going to start to back winds as we go through the day. And so we go from 320 to 310, we go from 310 to 305, maybe even 300 by the time we finish 1 to 2 o'clock, but the winds are going to be increasing by 1 o'clock, 18 to 22 knots. We're going to start to see gusts mid to maybe upper 20s. And then as we get around the hours at 3 o'clock, that's when winds really come up. We start to see those solid low 20s and maybe even taps to mid 20s averages and gusts near 30, 31 knots. And so that's whenever that surge occurs over the area, it's all about timing. That's when you're going to see that jump in winds to those low 20s with gusts up near 30, 31 knots. Now, we're on the favorable side of the lake here, whereas if we were over at St. Joseph or Michigan City, those areas you're going to probably see higher winds overall. We do have some of the land shadowing that's going to help on our side of the fence, but across the lake, that's when things are really going to get pretty burly over on there. I'll go ahead and bring Andrew in. And Andrew, what are your thoughts according to what we're seeing on the forecast for today?
Yeah, thanks, Shay. I suppose really the big thing is as the breeze starts to back, that'll favour possibly left-hand phase, but perhaps Kerry can pick up on that. But I think that the point that I wanted to sort of make was obviously sail choices come back into play today, just like they did on the first day. Probably everything a little bit more strapped down again, rig strapped down. Question really is, do you go with the heavy jib? And at what point, if you don't start with it, at what point do you switch to the A3? So those are decisions in terms of sail choices. But yeah, certainly with the wind backing and moving left, that'll come up with the tactical choices as well, because the buildings will start to come into play a little bit more.
Great. And Kerry, did you have anything to add?
Not really. I think mostly you're going to sail with the A2. By the time it gets that windy, we'll probably be done for the day or close to it. I think, with the wind coming over the land, it's going to be shifty, it's just going to be shifty breeze again. And I forgot, I haven't sailed in Chicago with the wind this shifty every day. So it's interesting, to say the least.
Right. And swell also, we're going to be seeing a building swell out there, and maybe not quite as high on this side of the lake, but over on the other. Right now I'm seeing 4.5 feet, real short period, 5 seconds. And so that could have some effect. So I don't know if anyone would like to add anything about the swell. And the swell will be coming from the direction the wind will be. So whatever direction that wind is west, northwest, or northwest, it'll be pretty much falling in line with that. Now there is some mixing on the other side of the lake with more of a north-northwest turn. And then that could have some sloshing effects down around the southern side of the lake where it would refract and maybe cause, but I don't think it's going to come up as high as where our race course is. I think it'll be pretty straightforward, but I would be anticipating 4 feet out there, maybe 5 if farther out on the eastern side of the course. And air temperature should be pretty, it'd be a little cool out there, upper 60s. And the lake breeze or the lake temperatures, let me get that share screen again. So we'll just talk lake surface temperature. Wire temp's about 64 degrees, so a little cool out there today. And just remember that the winds are going to be backing and increasing from the time that you start the race. And I think that's a wrap for today, gentlemen. Anything else from any of the panelists?
Not for me.
Nope. Okay. Well, thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure working with you on this race this year, and I hope everybody the best today. And I'll be seeing you around on the circuit through quantum sales in the future. All right, everybody, have a good afternoon or a good day, and best of luck out there. Take care.
Thank you very much, Shay. Thank you.
You're welcome.